On today's episode, we put the OG Toy Story to the ultimate test.
Somebody's poisoned the water hole.
There's a snake in my boots.
There's a snake in my
Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test.
To infinity and beyond.
Oh, dude, I was gonna do that, but I remember
the claw.
I remember I did that for the Lightyear episode, which everyone check out the Lightyear episode. Not because we watched the movie.
I did.
Because, you did the trailer of it, but
yeah,
anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves. People, welcome everyone to another episode of the Nostalgia Test Podcast. I'm Dan Dissinger here in LA, recording from the park. So if you hear
from the park,
pickleball, dogs, people running around, I'm at the park. It's what we do in LA.
I think that's hilarious.
Shout out podcasts hilarious. Everywhere or anywhere.
Oh yeah, what is it? Podcast? Yeah,
I think it's podcast anywhere or everywhere. Yeah. Whatever. You guys are awesome.
Yeah. It's so funny because like I'm imagining I'm walking by and like now we're gonna be talking about the Toy Story and you're gonna be like talking about something about Woody and someone's walking by like walking their dog and like if you get into yelling, you're gonna like people are gonna be like, what the hell is this guy yelling at?
What's he yelling about?
But it's LA. So
no one cares. It's like they're probably like, oh, some other guy recording a podcast in the park.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Another podcast.
More content. Anyways,
guys, welcome back to the Nostalgia Test Podcast. I hope you've been back with us. We had the MXPX episode that dropped, the Mario butt conversation. Dan only wanted to talk about the butt.
It was a great clip, though.
It was a good clip. It was a good clip. I like your post on Instagram. Guys, if you don't follow us, stop right now. Go follow us. Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, do all the things that everybody always asks you to. If this is your first time, I'm Manny. Dan is just introducing. He's in LA. I'm in New York. We're two very best friends who've known each other for over 20 years now. And we put the pop culture to the test.
That's right.
Our pop culture to the test. What's the rule? It has to be over 10 years old.
10 years old. Yeah.
10 years old or older. And we put it to the test. And we want you guys to recommend what we should be putting to the test. Because if it was up to me, I would only do movies. If it was up to Dan, I think he'd only do music. But we want to put other things to the test. You know, food. We don't stop anywhere. Whatever it might be. Liquid. Absolutely. Ice cream, liquid, yeah, liquid, baby. Little Sunny D, little purple drink.
The Sunny D live was good, but anyway,
the Sunny D live was good. We have to do it live soon.
We've been doing this for quite a bit. I mean, we're coming up on our 100th episode soon, which is crazy to think about. And we haven't done Toy Story, and here we are now.
I've always wanted to, and I almost wanted to do a marathon. So I made it into a marathon.
You made it into a marathon.
Yeah, and I gotta say, a lot easier to get through 1 through 4 than Rocky. Like the movies are just that well structured in timing wise.
Yeah,
that you don't feel like you're going through a marathon that is like, oh my god, what did I do to myself? Because like all of them are just as long as like Rocky 4. So like imagine a bunch of Rocky 4s. You're
oh my god!
I think that's manageable.
Can you imagine a bunch of Rocky 4s? Crazy.
Did you see that picture I sent you of the Rocky figurines, the action figures?
Yeah,
bro. That store is right down the block from the brewery, and I was like, dude, I could do a podcast right from here.
Yeah, bro, let's do it.
And I think I might. I was talking to him a very long time. It was very interesting to talk to somebody who's in the collectibles business and how it's changed. He's been there for 25 years.
Oh my god.
We need to do an episode with him because like I was trying to talk, I was asking him like, does he still have passion in it? Because just like me brewing beer eventually turns into a business, right?
Right.
So like I almost wanted people kept coming in and out, so I couldn't really get into it with him. And I was more talking to him as a business owner over, the nostalgic part of it.
Right.
And I kind of was just like, with the coming of eBay and the online sales and all that stuff, like it's just a business at this point. Like he can't. I wonder if he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. I'm looking at Rocky and Apollo, like, oh, who cares, you know? So I did want to get into that with him because I think he was like 8 years older than us. So like, it was interesting. It was a cool story though. It was a cool story. So, anyways,
I look forward to that.
Whatever, that was a tangent. We are doing Toy Story. I told Dan, let's do a movie. Full disclosure, the episodes you're watching, we recorded a couple of times already. We haven't recorded it in a while.
No, we haven't recorded a new episode in months. And this I think is a good start. It was a nice, easy way in back to what we do.
Yeah, guys, we didn't want to make this too difficult.
No, but let's get a little
hour and 20-minute like hour and 40-minute movie.
Hour and 45-minute movie with nothing much happening. But
whoa, Dan. The first 20 minutes of this movie was jam-packed with adult humor. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's get some facts in there, right? So from the Wikipedia, Toy Story is a 1995 American computer animated comedy film produced by Pixar Animation and was released by Walt Disney Pictures, the first installment in the Toy Story franchise. It was the first entirely computer animated feature film, as well as the first feature film from Pixar. So this started it all. It was directed by John Lasseter in his directorial debut, and produced by Bonnie Arnold, Ralph Guggenheim, from a screenplay written by Joss Whedon, Andrew Stanton, Joel Cohen, and Alec Sokolow. And it stars with, it's starring a bunch of amazing people, but most importantly, and I'll get to that, its music was featured by Randy Newman, which is like made this movie so much better. Like his voice is like the most memorable voice in the whole film. And it was executive produced by Steve Jobs, which was so weird to see in the credits because I totally didn't even realize that.
I didn't know that, and Kristen brought that up. She's like, "Wait, Steve Jobs executive produced this film?"
It's so weird to see his name just.
And like, think about how long ago this was. This is like when it was just Macintosh, like, and people like who owned a Macintosh. You know, like, not. I mean, my uncle Bobby had a Macintosh. That was
my uncle had one too.
Yeah, that was
weird they looked so odd. They looked like those robots in Star Wars that were like stolen by those other aliens, and then right, like the one that's like bwah, 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 bwah. That's what it looked like that at that point. Now they're nice and beautiful, and I got all Apple products now.
Yeah, I'm looking at an Apple product right now. I can't. You did. I'm so happy that when you text me, it's a blue text thing, and then when you like something and like thumbs up I don't have to get a text that says Dan thumbs up this.
Anyway, the film features voices of Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, Don Rickles, Jim Varney, Wallace Shawn, John Ratzenberger, Annie Potts, one of only 2 or 3 women in the entire film, Arlie Ernie, John Morris, Laurie Metcalf, and Eric Von Deeten. I mean, I just want to also say this in the facts. It was budgeted at $30 million and it made $394.4 million, the highest grossing film of 1995.
Crazy.
It beat out Casino.
I mean, of course it did. You got more people in the seats when it's rated. What is it rated? PG?
PG, I believe. Let me go back and see, but I'm pretty sure it's rated PG. I mean, it had to be.
There was some PG-13 jokes in there. They snuck them in. They snuck them in.
They snuck them in, and they snuck.
Mr. Potato Head's got some horny issues.
He's got some issues, and I love Don Rickles, rest in peace. Jim Varney, rest in peace. But Mr. Potato Head was a dick.
Yo, Ham and Mr. Potato Head, low key best duo in that franchise.
Okay, I want to see the whole franchise, so don't ruin it.
Oh my god!
I know that I'm way behind on this.
I just got to tell you, and I can't believe you haven't seen the other ones. And I did the marathon. I don't know what happened. And I did the marathon yesterday, and I was like, it was fun to see because when you watch it again, when you're not, and you're really trying to pay attention to all the things that are going on, like Ham is constantly reading. he's constantly taking in information.
Really?
He's like the guy you want on your trivia team. Ham knows, like anytime there's a situation, Ham's like, yeah, and he has like an interesting fact. He's like Jeremy, like he has an interesting fact of what's going on all the time. Like you don't even want to deny that it's true. You're just like, okay, like why not?
Have you ever done trivia? Like you, obviously you've done trivia. I've done trivia. I did trivia when I was in Colorado, and I was on my team with my friends there, and they somehow deemed me the sports person, and I didn't know anything about sports, and like I was like, I don't know. It's out of hand. That's
great.
I don't know. But
I've done trivia in my own place.
Oh, that's right.
Same-ish plug. Lithology Brewing Company, 211A Main Street in Farmingdale.
Okay. All right. So let's get back to Toy Story. Okay. So Manny, do you remember seeing this for the first time?
Yes.
And what was your thoughts when you first saw it? Do you remember kind of how like I guess like the craze of it, right? Because like, again, Pixar's first fully computer animated film. It was totally like a brand new idea, right?
Yeah. For disclosure, this is my by far most memorable Pixar film. Besides Nemo, Toy Story 1 has always been something burned into my brain. I think I stopped counting how much I've watched this movie. It's been a while, but to the point where that I remember this movie so much that when watching the other movies, I played this movie. And I recall leaving this movie and I think I might have watched this movie in the theater twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And we were young. I mean, 95. So, I definitely asked to go again.
So like, I remember this movie coming out and I remember seeing it. Now, I don't know if I saw it in the theater or if I saw it in like at home, like renting it,
like Blu-ray.
Yeah, I didn't have Blu-ray, dude. My dad didn't even have cable. We didn't have like again.
If you watched it at home, you watched it on a DVD.
So we were 28 when this came. No, wait a second.
No, then you watched it.
95. 1995. Yeah,
so you were
28 years ago. 28 years ago.
Bro, you were
okay.
You were 82.
13. Okay.
13 years old.
I totally did. I did the right math, but then I applied the number incorrectly, which is why I'm a podcaster and I'm not a mathematician. Okay. Okay. Anyway, that's going to be a quote on this one. So we were 13 years old. 13. I still didn't have cable. Okay. So there's no way I had a Blu-ray. I had a DVD player.
I didn't have a Blu-ray, but I definitely had a DVD. I had like that DVD/VCR combo that you thought that was awesome, but it wasn't. Like they were both shitty ass like quality.
Terrible.
But I definitely remember watching this in college. Like once it came out on DVD, wanted to watch it again and still loved it. So like it was definitely something that, especially for like being the first feature film, was awesome. Like huge. I remember it, like Pixar, this was like the heyday of Pixar. Like remember when we were watching like the orange years of Nickelodeon? Like this was like the golden years or whatever you want to call years of Pixar. Like Pixar, I remember Pixar could do no wrong during these years.
Right.
Like whatever movie they put out, you were just like in awe of.
Yeah. No, this was like huge. I mean, I remember seeing it and loving it. I remember it being so, well, here's the thing. And I said this to you prior to hitting record. I remember as a kid, I'm like, oh man, this is such a great movie and blah, blah, blah. And then when I rewatched it, I immediately was like, wait, I thought there was more that happened.
So I think that's a big thing with all kid movies.
Well, I mean, I was thinking about that, and then I was comparing it to things like, The Lion King and stuff like that. And I'm like, a lot of stuff happened in The Lion King. Someone dies, like there's a whole adventure, then there's another person that dies, and there's a battle scene and all this stuff. And
in Toy Story, it's visually unbelievable to watch. And then you got Randy Newman, obviously. You got a friend in the right? And then
Yeah.
And then you have Tom Hanks, who, in my opinion, he makes this whole movie so unbelievable. And I said it, I was like, it reminds me of the Tom Hanks from like Turner and Hooch. And that's why like I was so drawn to it, because I love Turner and Hooch.
Okay. I definitely agree that like Tom Hanks, first of all, Tom Hanks is this franchise. Like watching the whole thing, you're like, oh, this movie isn't about Andy. It's not about Buzz at all. It's about like Buzz is a side character that's comic relief. Like Tom Hanks makes like this whole Toy Story should just be called Woody's story, because like it is all Woody all the time. He's the glue.
Woody all the time.
He's the glue. Make that a quote, baby. All Woody all the time. He's the glue. And Tom Hanks is perfect for this role.
Yeah,
like it reminded me like, all right, he's the big. He's the character. Josh.
Oh God, yeah.
Like he was perfect for this role.
Absolutely.
And like, I don't think I could have another person play Woody.
No, and they did want someone, according to the trivia on IMDb, they actually wanted Jim Carrey and Paul Newman.
No.
So Paul Newman would have played Woody.
Would have played Woody?
Yeah.
And they wanted Jim Carrey as Buzz?
Yeah. Yeah.
My God.
And also Billy Crystal, he was also asked to play Buzz Lightyear, and he said no. And then according to the trivia, like he was so upset that he made that choice. So then when Lasseter called him to be in Monsters Inc., Billy Crystal's wife answered the phone and then said, "Hey, it's Lasseter," and he just took the phone and he just immediately said yes without saying anything else, because he was like so upset that he said no to Toy Story.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, I don't see. It's so funny when people like how things work out, because I don't see any other duo playing these characters.
Oh, no, not at all. It's impossible. It's impossible.
Like you saw how people like were up in arms about the fact that Buzz Lightyear wasn't played by Tim Allen, which like I kind of get, but at the same time, one's a toy, the other one's the actual person that it was based on. But like I think it was perfectly casted. But like it's funny that it's like accidentally casted because somebody said no. Exactly. So like when people say like these are castings perfect, it's like, well, there was a little bit of luck that happened.
There was a little bit of luck there.
But I'm glad it happened that way.
Yeah, and it's funny. I think he was Tom Hanks was recording his parts in between the breaks between A League of Their Own and Sleepless in Seattle. So during the breaks of sleep, he didn't want to record his dialogue during the breaks of Philadelphia or Forrest Gump because he felt he shouldn't do comedic roles in between minutes of playing serious roles.
That's funny. He's like,
which I don't know. Forrest Gump, like,
come on, yeah.
I mean, I know it's supposed to be serious, but I think people laughed their way all the way through that movie.
It was. I like that. I mean, I feel like that movie is like it's a good movie. I thought it was a good movie, but like, yeah. There's some comic relief in that movie. Like,
okay, so in Toy Story,
we should put that one as a test. It wouldn't. I don't know.
Dear God.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing about Toy Story is definitely the it's just the way the story is told. I mean, I like how you follow the toys, because to me, I mean, I was watching it and immediately I was like, I always thought that my toys were doing something when I wasn't around them.
So I was talking about that with somebody today, that this movie could never be based on nowadays. because there's so many cameras in people's houses now.
Yeah.
That if toys needed to do that, they would need to take over the cameras.
Yeah.
Like I was analyzing that today. Like, oh, if that actually was, if it's true, like these toys were, I thought it was great. I thought the premise is like, all right, we went on a tangent. We were talking about our first impressions. The idea of this story is so perfect because with Pixar is that they choose a topic that everyone could relate to. And that makes sense because you're trying to make money for the masses.
Sure.
To be pop, right?
Right.
We're talking about pop culture. We're putting pop culture to the test, right?
Right.
The only way it's pop is that if everyone likes it, not just kids.
Right.
And everybody could relate, and everybody's been a kid to personifying a toy.
Right.
Right. And like how many times as a kid, and this is boy, girl, they, them, have looked at a figure and made it into anything with imagination. And it was a perfect, to me, it was a perfect stepping stone to Pixar because, they personified everything, toys, fish, rats, everything. But of course you could do that with animals, but starting with toys was perfect because
I love it.
You can make the toy do anything. The toy could be anything, right? We talked about this in the Hangout episode. Check out the Hangout episode if you haven't seen it.
And you can watch it on YouTube. And
there's more coming. Yeah. But and I think I brought this up like the day that I had, I stopped playing with action figures, right? The day that I stopped imagining, right? So this movie, for me at 13, 14, whatever, 15 years old we were.
13, 14, yeah.
We were still in we're playing with toys.
Absolutely.
A little bit.
Sure.
Even if we were a little bit older, we could remember very recently what we were doing with our toys. And then if you were older as adults, you remembered being a child with that imagination, and it brings you right into it, and you go into it. And of course, Pixar has and Disney does this, has a great way to mix adult humor into kids movies without kids really knowing what's going on because it's over their head. It's like, dude, that's why Mr. Potato Head was there. That's why the pig was there. The first 10 minutes of that movie is Ham and Mr. Potato Head totally going after the adults.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because you have Don Rickles doing the voice of Mr. Potato Head. So of course that's for the adults. That's for the adults, 100%. Don Rickles.
When he's like, "You're a hockey puck," that's a joke only the adults.
I thought there was a problem with that though. When he's like, "Shut up, hockey puck." I was like, "What?"
Yeah, but I'm saying that was there's parents here taking these kids to this movie. We need to give them, and the best part of that was you do it right away. Yeah, so the parents aren't pissed. You get them right away. So now the parents are like, "Ha, that's funny. They're playing towards me." Now you could be as kitschy, as kiddish as you want because the parents got their joke. They got all,
and they got that, and they got the guy who did the voice of the soldiers from Full Metal Jacket. That's who voiced that, right?
Yeah.
And, maybe not for kids. Well, actually, maybe their parents, like the parents of the kids, I think maybe. But Jim Varney's in this, and he's like, "Hey Vern," the guy who, So I feel like there was a lot of that in there, and Tom Hanks as well. I mean, so it wasn't just some nameless voices. These were huge stars, and also John Ratzenberger, who is from Cheers.
Yes, and they even played that. They played that up about the mailman, him being he knew something about the post office and stuff. Right. So they played jokes that you understood. Best part was that I guess this is right around the time when animation started hiring actors that you knew from live action films.
Possibly, yes. Maybe that's around this time.
right? And like, did you get the joke when like Bo Peep wanted to make out with Woody, and she's like, I'm only a couple blocks away, and she walked by the ABC blocks. Like, I was like, come on, like, it was so subtle, and I was like, as a kid, I wouldn't have gotten it. It would have just, because you're not paying attention to that,
but
you don't even care what's going on.
But I also asked the same question I think I did as a kid that I did that day. I'm like, well, isn't Bo Peep just a lamp? Like, she wasn't like a toy. She's a lamp, right?
Here's the thing about that. I wanted to think about that. And the question about when these things come to life, I would assume only when a kid brings imagination. Like, my theory of Toy Story is that every toy only comes to life, and you'll see this in Toy Story 4. If a kid brings imagination or personification to that toy, before that, it's just an inanimate object.
Oh, wow.
That's how I thought.
Okay.
But as you go on, you see figures just come to life because somebody touches them or they walk by. But I had thought, because Woody only remembers Andy. Woody never talks about the previous owner of Woody. Woody's from the 1960s. His first owner isn't Andy. There's a theory that his owner is the mom's father's or the dad's father, and you don't see the father because the dad died.
Well, I was going to say, there's like there are no parents in this movie.
Yeah, but we know that about Disney.
And we know about kids' movies also. Like, there are hardly any of her parents that do anything.
Because it's not about that, right? And then this specifically Toy Story 1, the humans are not drawn with detail.
No,
they actually look very animated. But you look at the floor and you're like, I think I'm looking at the floor.
Yeah.
You look at the bed, the quilt.
Yeah.
You're like, oh my God, it looks like a quilt.
Yeah.
You know, they did so well. It got better. The humans got better, but I understand what they were doing. They're not trying to make the humans look cute or lovable, because
they looked frightening.
Yes. It's not about the humans. It's about the toys.
Right.
So like, my thing is like, maybe I'm wrong about that. The kid has to give it personification, but yes, like Bo Peep was a little weird because like, was it a lamp? Were you able to play with the lamp? Obviously you could take them apart.
Well, but
she was porcelain.
Yeah. So according to the trivia, it was supposed to be Barbie, because it was supposed to be a scene at the end. Remember, at the end of the movie, 28-year spoiler. But like, if you when they're coming up on the moving van, right, on the race car, Barbie is supposed to come out of the truck in her car, like Terminator 2, and like rescue them.
Oh, wow.
Mattel didn't want them to have Barbie or whatever because they didn't think the movie was going to be a hit
until they added,
and then they added Barbie, apparently,
because Barbie is involved in 3.
So like, that's why
a lot.
So that's why Bo Peep is in it and not Barbie. So it was supposed to be Barbie.
All because Mattel was like, but it was just funny because Bo Peep becomes a very big character in 4.
She's a very popular lamp.
Yeah, you need to watch it because Bo Peep, like, spoiler alert, like Bo Peep and Woody go through a crazy adventure, and like 3 is sad because Bo Peep's not in it. There's a whole thing. So like, you need to.
I mean, this movie reminded me of like the Brave Little Toaster. Like, as soon as like the toys, as like Woody and Buzz like are launched out of the room because Woody tries to kill him. I mean, there's a lot of like.
Oh, dude, did you see the Indiana Jones-esque ball rolling? The globe is rolling, and the fucking arrows are going, like the thumbtacks. I was like, this is just Indiana Jones right here. And when, like, in the second one, they do like really Star Wars themed stuff. So like, there's because Lucas is was big on with Pixar.
I mean, I loved all the things that they did. I think they did a lot of great things. Though, again, like, I thought for me, my favorite part is when they are at the pizza place. Like I love that part.
Greatest
I love
part.
the pizza. The pizza place is amazing, and I've been, there. I think it was like what, a Universal or Disney. Like they have like the Pizza Planet, and I went to Pizza Planet.
Yo, Pizza Planet delivery guy plays a huge role in every movie.
Oh, really?
He's basically the Uber driver of these toys.
Oh, that's hilarious.
He doesn't know he is, but yeah.
But that's the thing. People aren't noticing these toys run around the street sometimes. Like, I guess like it doesn't matter.
You know what I thought was funny too is like, okay, so
there are no people and there are no other people really.
The whole point is that Buzz thinks he's real, right? But like, yet he understands not to move when humans are around.
That's what I don't get. That's what I don't get. Like he doesn't, like out of nowhere he just stops moving, right?
Woody didn't have to tell him that.
What my thing was like when Buzz Lightyear opens the thing, he doesn't see Made in Taiwan immediately.
No, he only sees it later. Because like it's perception, right? He believes it, so he doesn't even want to look at that, right? Yeah. My whole thing was like, what didn't get me, and like whatever. We're analyzing a movie about toys that are talking. Talk. Yeah,
it's like total Turner and Hooch when he was just like, what?
Yeah. But like, I think
now I'm screaming in the park.
I'm telling you, toy. But look, I thought it was funny that certain things needed to be explained to him and other things didn't. Like the toys inherently know you can't.
No,
we can't. There's a rule. Like it's almost as like they were born knowing, like we can't move when humans are around.
Yeah, they were in the it was like the Matrix. Like they all know what's up. And then Buzz Lightyear had to, take the red pill, and then all of a sudden he loses his mind.
Yeah. But it just was funny to me that like the toy, because he wasn't personified yet. Yeah. The toy, he knows not. He thinks he's a space ranger, but he doesn't go to his. He gets picked up by a child, but he doesn't go to the child and says,
exactly. He's being played with all day, and he's just like, limp, and then he's just like, oh, okay, time to fix my cardboard ship.
And then I wonder, is it because you can only act that way with other toys around?
No, because they do that to Sid.
Yeah.
So like it's a rule. Remember, he says we're gonna have to break a few rules. Like,
we're gonna have to break a few rules.
Rules. And so like I'm just like, so is Buzz Lightyear know these rules inherent? Like,
no, because that's where it's like there should have been a part, I think, where Woody had to be like, no, we can't move when this humanoid is around us because we will destroy all toys. People will never play with toys. Like, it'd be fun to see a toys move, but tell me you wouldn't be like scared to shit if a toy moved.
Of course, I would be freaked out.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me? If anything ever, the way things happen in movies happened in real life, it would just destroy everything.
Yeah.
Like, because she would just be like, if a tree all of a sudden was like, hey,
no, like even if my dog started talking to me, no.
I know we say that. We're like, man, it'll be awesome if our pets could talk
it wouldn't.
to us. I think you wouldn't want that.
No, because my dog wouldn't say what I'm trying for it to say.
No,
it would be annoying as fuck. Like imagine a dog being like, hey.
That's what it would be. Food.
Hey.
Food.
Hey, chicken. Hey. You want to play? Hey, can you throw this? Hey.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like, hey, Manny, so how's your day going?
It wouldn't be what like me and my wife talk, we make noise, our voices, like we do a Marty voice. Like, oh, hey, Dad. And it's like, no, he would be annoying as fuck.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like you could do a podcast with your dog.
No, it'd be interesting, but no.
It would just be you and the dog like going, hey, what's that? Hey,
like I left today and we left him out of the cage today. He likes the cage. I left today and we were watching him on the video and he's just standing at the window waiting for us. So I'm thinking in my head, like, imagine he's talking. He's like, are they coming back? Are they coming back? Are they coming back?
Oh my God, that's a nostalgia test tangent right there.
Yeah.
Well,
so all right.
Pizza
So
Planet.
okay, but
Love
before
it.
we get to Pizza Planet was one of the better
Mm-hmm.
parts because he kind of also realizes stuff there, right? Too, and you realize Sid only knows Buzz, doesn't know who Woody is, because when he gets Buzz as a prize, he goes, "Oh, double prize." He doesn't name Woody as a character.
I I need to know something though about Pizza Planet. How far away is it? Because
It
Sid,
looks like it's in the middle of nowhere.
that gas station is in the middle of nowhere.
How is Sid getting there?
On a skateboard. Like he's just on a skateboard. And
like these two, the gas station and the planet look like they're in this like the shadiest looking area of town. Where do they live?
That I don't know. It's weird.
Because even the houses are not. I'm like, this is some weird suburban area. Yeah. It's not Long Island.
No,
and it's not. It's like mid America. Just
random mid America.
I'm just gonna say mid America.
And you need a car to go somewhere unless you're Sid and you have a skateboard.
Yeah, but Sid is in shape. Let me tell you, because and Sid obviously doesn't talk to Andy ever.
No, but that's the thing. How does he not know who? I mean, he's got to know who he is, right?
Yeah,
they live right next door,
but they don't talk to each other.
Yeah,
like Sid didn't even care that Andy was moving.
No, and they didn't pack a lot to move,
and they took a very long time to move.
And they took a big truck,
bro. That truck was empty. When they opened the truck, I was like, you didn't need that truck.
It was like they were squatting in that house.
I was like, you have like 4 boxes. That could have gone in your van.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was so weird.
I was like, what? Why did you need that much space in your truck? You're paying a lot. Like U-Haul didn't exist then because you could have gotten the small U-Haul. The 99 cents an hour U-Haul, not the like $50 an hour. They paid like way too much money for that moving truck.
Yeah. Oh,
I thought I was going to see a couch, a bed. They didn't bring anything. They brought boxes.
Oh, they just said like, fucking burn it all. Let's go. They're like, we're starting a whole new life.
And which makes me think, was she moving out of her dad's house?
I don't know, because I don't know anything about like
that wallpaper was old.
Oh yeah. You don't know anything about about the family. You just learn. It's just about the toys, and that's what's interesting. It's just about the toys. Has nothing to do with anything else.
I want to know more about the family.
Yeah, I needed to know some backstory, but then again, whatever. I mean, would that have added to this story? Probably not.
No, right? Because the real story is about, the coming of age of the Buzz Lightyear, who they consider is like dumb, right? Like he plays this like dumb jock space cadet toy.
Yeah.
And also the heart that Woody has, because Woody obviously, although he is jealous.
Oh, he's like an egomaniac.
He is, but in the end, Woody always wants what's good for Andy.
Yeah.
At first, he wants that, but then he wants it obviously just to be him. But then he realizes, like, there's a part of him that realizes, well, just because we both can't, like, Andy, I don't want to, like, at first he's like, I want to get rid of him. And then he's like, oh, like, if I get rid of him, Andy's going to be upset.
Yeah.
And, like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
And that's worse off than me getting rid of Buzz. Because now Andy's not, So, like, in the end, Woody does have a good heart. And, like, he like, turns around and is, basically trying to save Buzz's life and stuff.
From Hostel 1 or Saw. Like, it was just, like, horrifying. Dude, that kid... Like at first, I remember all those things that like the articles written about like how Sid's creative. Dude, no way, dude. Like he was set to burn like Woody on a barbecue. It would be different.
I thought it was crazy that none of the toys
creating his own toys.
Yeah, but that's true. You're right. He wasn't. He was taking other toys and just dismantling them and putting them together and stuff. And none of the
gasoline in his
what was creepy about that was that none of them talked.
No, they didn't. It was so weird.
None of them talked. So like that made it even creepier. Like that movie all of a sudden turned into a horror film.
Oh yeah.
Right. And of course, painting like rock and roll people horrible.
Yeah.
Like emo rock. If you were into like, there was one that said like Mega Dork was the name of the thing. I was like, what the hell is that?
Supposed to be like a Megadeth poster, probably.
Yeah. But like, I thought that scene was crazy because like, I'm thinking as a kid, like, oh, this is really dark over here. And then like, they even like kind of mentioned like the dad's an alcoholic.
Yeah, he's in that room. I felt bad for his sister. That girl just has to fend for herself.
I know.
Like,
but the mom was like downstairs and doing nothing.
Yeah, nothing at all.
And like, you could tell that everybody was afraid of that father because even the dog, when the dog went into that room, the dog freaking got out. Like,
that was some like radio flyer level fear.
Yes. Yes.
That's what it reminded
Bro, I was
of.
thinking the same thing. I'm like, yo, if you wake up this dad, this is not good.
Yeah. That was that whole part of the movie was so dark. And also like Sid had like a can of gasoline in his room. I
knew a kid that was like this on my block.
Oh my God.
And I was almost scared of him because of what I did to him as a kid.
Oh,
and boy. I saw him in high school and he's like, yo, remember when you did this to me? I was like, oh God. Well, yeah, but I remember them, the same kind of backyard and everything.
Yeah.
Blow shit up. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that was crazy. I was just like, when the toy that came out with just the doll head and like the metal like skeleton walk, like that shit was creepy as fuck, and it didn't have an eye and all that stuff. And like then you had the legs on the fishing pole. You had like, I mean, it was horrifying. I mean, that whole part was really like scary. I mean, there was a doll that came out of the thing or another thing with like a nail in its head. I'm like, this kid is that's the type of stuff that's interesting about Disney movies or like kids movies, is like the fear that they put into them, right? There's a fear aspect of something right there, and it's supposed to be funny, but it goes to a point where you're just like, oh my God, like that could be like, that could really scare the fuck out of someone, especially like Sid himself could like you said, reminds you of someone. Now, if a little kid's watching this and it reminds them of like their neighbor or their literal neighbor or someone, they'd be like, oh my God, like I'm never gonna go outside ever again. Never again.
I mean, I thought it was like they did scare him though, right? So like if you were watching this and you were that kid and you were like, oh my God, like these toys could be real. And like, I thought that scene was crazy when he's like, and they come out of the dirt and stuff like that.
Yeah, that was.
And he turns his head and he's like, "We all are watching." Like even Woody got
shit. Yeah,
like Woody got creepy.
Like Woody did get creepy.
I mean, like all that could have gone wrong, right?
Yeah.
Like again, if you had that nowadays, like that's being recorded now. You know, toys have been outed.
Yeah, it would be right on Instagram.
You destroyed it, you know, they Chuckied. That was a Chucky section of the movie.
Yeah, that was the Chucky section.
You know, but he had to do it. Like, think about how much he had to save Buzz to break that rule.
Yeah.
Like, like you're talking about toys that have been thrown away, arms that have been taken apart, you know, like all these things destroyed, but like he's like, we got to break this rule or else my guy's best new toy is going to explode and die, and Andy's going to be destroyed for the rest of his life. Like Tom Hanks had this like Woody had this like psychiatrist level thinking of him.
It was like the Obi-Wan of like the toys. Because like he knows all these things, and if like it's what you're saying, right? Like this idea, because I didn't see the other movies, but that he, you know, was passed down over time. That he's a toy that has like a lot of experience, right?
Absolutely.
And so like it makes
like they say he was made in the 60s. So like I think he only talks about Andy in all four of the franchises, but I think that's and the Bonnie as well, but like he has an understanding about kids, and I think because he's been around a long time, which then freaks me out because now you're saying toys live forever. So you can get into an existential crisis of like, imagine thinking that as a toy, like unless you get melted. Because look, like Sid was able to put these toys together, and now they're in torturous lifestyle of not being like what they were before. They can't talk, and now they're forever going to live unless like melted in a garbage chute, which almost happens in another movie that they put him in. But like the toy never dies.
No.
So the toy has to be along forever. So the toy has to. So that would mean humans are like dogs to the way we treat dogs. Like when I lost my dog, 16-year-old, 1 month shy of 16, Rocky, God rest his, I don't know why I said God, but rest his soul. He, I was only able to have him for 16 years and I'm going to live past that and think about him and stuff. These toys lose their humans and have to constantly get a new human to feel something, but know that human is not going to keep them or love them that much at a certain time. And they have to find another human or else they're a lost toy, dude. Like they got to do this. They got to do this for eternity. Unless
it's like a hellscape, dude. Like what you're saying is like unless like you get a good toy family who passes toys down to their children, then like you live forever as a lost toy somewhere. Like I mean, when Woody says like, "Oh my God, I'm a lost toy,"
yes,
like now that scene already was scary when he said that. I was like, "Oh my God, yeah, imagine that." Like, what do you do? It's like being a lost shoe.
Yeah, dude, like. But like that's why you got to watch the other ones because it gets even deeper with this stuff, right? In different ways to be a toy and like talking about like the attic being thrown into the attic or shelved. Okay.
Oh, I can imagine.
So like that where they almost are okay being thrown into the attic because then at least in the attic they can move around. Right. Because you're hardly going to have any humans show up and stuff. And you're just going to like be up there forever until you like get passed down to a yard sale. And then when you go to a yard sale, then you got to be worried about whether you're going to be a Sid family or a Andy family.
Or a collector who just puts you on a shelf.
Or who puts you on a shelf. Again, they tackle this in the other movies. Okay. Wow. So like, and then like being okay with being a lost toy and being played with by many different kids. And like, or being thrown into a preschool and being like thrown into paint and just beat up and drooled on. Like, it's torture. Like, these guys live forever. Unless they get thrown into a burnt, like, unless they get burnt.
Which is like horrible. You can't, I mean, do they
like, think about it.
They don't feel pain, right?
It's almost like, I don't know. They could smell.
I guess they feel pain, yeah.
Yeah. And Woody got that dot on his head.
Oh, right. Bro, I'm just saying because when Buzz lost his arm, he didn't really do anything. He was just like, bruh.
No.
That's why I was like, can't they just jump out Sid's window? I was like, who cares?
And let me ask you, why does RC need a remote? Why does RC need a remote to go get them? Why can't he just go and get them?
Yeah, exactly. Why can't he just go? If no one's playing
like
with him, he just
RC,
stays there. He's like, oh
RC's like watching his best friend, like king of the bedroom, like running, and he's like, oh, I gotta wait for the remote control.
I gotta wait for someone to pick up the remote, dude. I thought you're sentient. Just go.
Like, just go.
Oh my God. All right. So, okay. So,
dude, these toys don't die.
All right.
What about that guy, the soldier who got stepped on by Andy's mom? And he's like walking.
Yeah.
Like, and he didn't, it's like, kill me, melt me, please. Just melt me.
Now he's just going to be a broken toy. But I had broken toys and I just kept them.
Yeah. I'm saying, man, being a toy would be almost, it's crazy because you live forever until, even if you're in a landfill, do you die?
No. You're
No,
just in a
because
landfill.
those other toys came up.
Yeah, you're just in a landfill at that point.
So you basically want to be, if you want to die, you got to be put into a fire.
You have to be, you probably have to be chopped into a million pieces and then burned into ashes.
Oh my God.
But then I'm pretty sure whatever spirit was in that toy goes to another toy.
Okay.
Okay, wait a second. Okay. What was your favorite part? Then we're going to put this to the test. If there's, wait, Andy is the most ridiculous character. He doesn't know anything that's ever going on. His toys vanish. He's like, "Well, it was just right here," and then he's in the
and then he's like, "I told you, it's where you left it." No, but that goes back to like the joke that like when when you couldn't find things and your mom always found it, or your mom always knew where it was.
Yeah.
So I think that's like a whole play on that too.
Yeah.
Like that, like, oh, I can't find it. Did you look? I looked all over. I looked there, and it ends up being there all the time. So you're like, something's playing a joke on me. The Icelandic people would say Alps were playing jokes on
you. Okay, so when
they believe in elves, you know that, right?
It's oh my God. So there are two things that are crazy about this film, and I know it's animated, but whatever. When the moving truck, when the toys open the truck, right? When Woody opens the truck and stuff, the driver would be like, wouldn't he know that shit is just falling out of the truck? And then when that ramp goes down, like it's like the truck driver is just it's like, oh, it's whatever. We're just gonna.
Dude, the ramp would mess everything up. And another thing is the remote control car with a toy with a rocket on it. You telling me nobody's around?
No one was outside.
What are they moving on a Monday at like 9 a.m.?
But it also goes through traffic. Remember, it went through traffic. I mean, someone would have seen that.
Dude, you got to see too, they cause traffic accidents. These toys are killing people.
The death toll is crazy. But so when we
need to see the aftermath of toys being around.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like that. So when they are in the air after like the rocket is set off, right? Yeah. Oh Jesus, I'm in a park, people. So when they're flying,
somebody's like, "This is a guy talking about toys having souls after they die."
Yeah. So they're flying. How is he gliding? He wouldn't be gliding. I don't care.
Dude, he falls with style.
Oh, bullshit. So then when he falls with style in the car, it's two heavy toys. They got to be, Buzz Lightyear's heavy. When it falls in that box that Andy is sitting literally next to, he has no peripheral vision. I would have seen those toys fall through the sunroof and just hit that box.
Yeah.
Like I would have been like, oh my.
Mom's oblivious too.
The mom's oblivious. Like she didn't see any of this happen ever.
No.
That or she knows it's happening.
Yeah.
If she knows it's happening when she stepped on those toys and then kicked them to the side like garbage, it was just like, whatever. But one of my favorite parts, if not my favorite part, were the aliens. I love the aliens when there, that little alien cult. Like he was chosen.
Yes.
And then he feeds
the claw.
The claw alien to the dog.
Oh my God.
Like, that was horrifying. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ.
And dogs can hear them. You know
that's right. So the dogs must
know.
be seeing these toys like moving around.
Absolutely. That's why dogs go crazy with toys.
Oh my God. So what was your favorite part?
They just basically want to kill toys.
So what was your favorite part?
Damn, that's I mean, I always remember the alien part.
Mm-hmm.
And like talking about the claw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what my favorite part is. I guess shit. I think my favorite part is the first 20 minutes of that movie.
Like Rocky 5.
Sure. No, just because like all the jokes come out then. I mean, there's jokes throughout it. All the jokes come out then. They basically get right to the point where this movie is about toys and the imagination of toys. And even I will say this, the beginning and the end of where, first of all, it takes them so long to move out of this house, right?
Oh,
to the point where they change
boxes.
To the point where they changed the sheets from Woody sheets to Buzz sheets, right?
Lots of time went by.
Yeah. So the fact that they show at the end that Andy has now combined Woody and Buzz together.
Yeah.
He's got like Buzz and Woody sheets and pillows and posters. I thought it was cool. I don't know how you're doing that. How, like, are you like manifesting that out of the child? Because like why is he like doubling up? You know, but maybe I guess I did that too as a kid. It's not, I wasn't discriminatory towards toys, but if I got a new toy, I was going to play with that one first. But like, I think I just liked the beginning part because you still see the the kid interacting with the toy and like being, the imagination of what's going on with the toy and the kid and the life that he is, you know, the cardboard box with the bank and all that stuff. So I was kind of more like going back to like me playing with toys. And then the rest of it was cool. It was just a buddy story, right? It was a coming of age story. It was a realization story. And you know, you got a friend and me, like it's a best friend story, right? They become best friends.
Yeah.
All for the sake of Andy, who's their god, apparently. But like, but yeah, but I think my favorite is seeing Andy with all the toys in the beginning, and like the imagination with the crayon on the boxes, and he turns the boxes and it turns into a bank, and then it's like cows, and like just remembering what it was like. And I think again, I brought this up in the Hangout episode, like. Playing with action figures, playing with toys, personifying everything. Like Andy was really good at imagination.
Oh yeah. No, it was cool. I was
and so was, I know you didn't like Sid, but Sid when he was talking to himself and doing the whole like, we have lunch and all that stuff. Even though he was a psycho, he still had imagination going on, like he's personifying. Yeah,
he had a very evil imagination.
Yes,
but and apparently that toolbox was the Binford toolbox from Home Improvement.
Of course it was. And Sid, goes on to like changing his life and protecting toys at all costs.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
Okay.
But okay, well, Manny, I think it's time. We talked about toys having souls and living forever and everything.
I don't even know. Did you set up a timer for this?
Yeah, I did. It went off
okay. All right.
A little bit ago. Well, just like a few minutes ago. Now,
all right.
Here we are, putting the Toy Story 1 to the test. Manny, what do you think? Does Toy Story 1 pass the nostalgia test?
Absolutely. I think it still stands a chance. It has a great story. One of the better of Pixar's. I think Pixar has been striking out lately.
Really, you didn't like Soul?
No.
Really?
I thought it was good. I thought it was good, but I didn't think it was this good. I thought also Elemental, right? I thought Elemental was great.
I want to see that.
Had a good story. It was basically about immigration. And like, why town, like why Little Italy starts, why, Mineola, like why Mineola started, like, like the fire is supposed to be like a certain heritage, and they start a fire town and they have fire traditions, and like there's the water town, and like you got to watch it. It was good, but like nothing hits like 1995 to 2005 Pixar. Like, those Pixars were crazy.
Okay, so before so you're like, it passes the test. So I just want you to know about some of the movies that came out in 1995. So we just put in context like how successful Toy Story was. So some of the popular movies in 1995 was Batman Forever, okay, Billy Madison, Casper. Showgirls came out in 1995. That wasn't a good movie at all. Mortal Kombat, that really wasn't that good. Tommy Boy, Heavyweights, Hackers, Mallrats, Empire Records, Clueless came out in 1995.
Wow.
Friday, that came out in 1995. Major Pain came out in 1995. Casino. I mean, a bunch of other ones I'm skipping over that weren't that great. Dead Presidents. That came out in 1995.
Whoa.
Get Shorty, Braveheart. So it was more successful than Braveheart, Pocahontas.
You got
13.
some big bangers there.
Yeah, Apollo
Those are
13.
some good movies, man.
I know.
Those are all movies come to the nostalgia test.
Yeah, just Dangerous Minds. It was
and do well.
Yeah, Mr. Holland's
do well.
Opus. Yeah, they do well. Yeah, well, Mr.
They would do
Opus,
well. They would stand a chance of passing.
The Goofy movie.
Oh my god.
Heat,
that would
which
pass.
I don't know if a Heat would definitely. I don't know if that would pass in nostalgia.
It was way too long.
It's too long.
Too long.
Yeah. So that's how, I mean.
All I can remember about that movie that it was long.
Yeah, and that Val Kilmer's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would say like Toy Story. After our discussion, the moon's out right now. Because of the complexity of our conversation and the whole thing about toys living forever, I'm going to say Toy Story passes the nostalgia test. I think it's a really great film. I think it starts the whole Pixar thing. It was really great. It could have been, a big mistake. Obviously, it could have like totally just been horrible. And then we would never had any of these Pixar movies. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the other ones because like I've never seen them before. But definitely it was a good one. I thought more happened, but maybe that's because it's a kid's movie. So
it's a kid's movie. Nothing happens in a kid's movie. So definitely pass the test.
Yeah.
Let's do a, let us know what you guys think. Let us know if we should do 2, 3, and 4. I would like to, it would be interesting for us to do it just because I want to hear you. Yeah. Because you've never seen them.
It would be amazing. Because I think we have a new segment, I think. Bring something that you haven't seen and I haven't seen.
Yeah. And I think we have a lot of people that have been guests on this show that would love to talk about Pixar and the universe and just the Toy Story universe. I know to me, they all pass, but so it's like, why are we putting them on? I know Steve wants us to argue, but I'd like to actually see your reaction to never seeing it.
Oh, I think I'm going to end up crying the whole time. But
dude, I think 2 is the best.
But I'm looking.
I would argue that 2 is my favorite. Okay,
so we'll see. Once we watch them all, we'll rank them just like the Rocky movies.
Okay,
but
I go 2-1. I'd go 2-1 4 3.
Wow. Okay, I have no idea. I don't know any contact. So, but people, like Manny said, comment, tell us if you think Toy Story 1 passes the nostalgia test, and also like the podcast. It's the only way that we can grow. But we really appreciate a like, a comment. You could like the podcast and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify or Apple or Good Pods or wherever you listen to podcasts. Check out the our Instagram at the Nostalgia Test. Our TikTok, which I don't know, are we still doing that, Manny?
Kind of.
At the Nostalgia
Kind
Test.
of. Just freaking listen to us, man.
Yeah,
the Instagram stuff is starting to get annoying. Threads. Threads is another annoying thing. Yeah, but that's all you. I'll let you deal with Threads.
But listen and share the podcast.
Twitter. It's Twitter for Instagram.
Oh, yeah. And share the podcast with a best friend. Listen to it together, and then
by the next episode, I'm getting the merch up. I don't care anymore. We're paying the taxes on it. It's happening.
Oh my god!
At least the beanie's coming out for beanie beanie and nostalgia mugs.
There But everyone, thank you so much. Like, subscribe. Manny, I'll see you on the next test. Peace.
Deuces.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.